Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies, strengthening your business while offering your talents to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another Tuesday marketing broadcast with Giver Marketing. I am so excited today. Hey, Rajiv, how you doing?
Doing great, Christine. Thank you so much for this warm invitation. So happy to be on here again.
We love having you on the show. It's always fun to have a guest that's knowledgeable, experienced, and can teach and share, and always bring the best stories. So I'm really looking forward today. We're going to have so much fun. Big shout out to our fan clubs out there. So we're shouting out to Giver Marketing, of course, Prepared Group, Kingdom Warriors. There's so many groups that we love to associate with Selling with Dignity. There is just so much fun to be had. We love partnerships and we love working with others. So if you want us to broadcast to your group, please let us know. We'd be happy to share or share us into your group because we are here to have fun. I'm Christine Deane. I'm your team director here at Giver Marketing Network, and I love being able to host this because we get to learn. Former teacher myself, so whenever we can share the abundance of knowledge that we have with other people, it just warms my heart. So, Rajiv, how did you, for those that don't know you, which they really should, right? How did you get involved with this whole marketing space and then getting so involved with the AI stuff?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Christine. And hello, people that are watching this, wherever you are, whenever you are. I hope you're having a great day. And I hope that you get some nuggets, some downloads from this conversation. And I hope that it inspires you to take action. To answer your question, I've been in marketing my entire career. I started out as a lowly copywriter, which started out as a trainee copywriter. I was always good at writing slogans. I took part in various contests that I saw in the newspaper, on the radio, won many of them. And I think my mom noticed this and started seeing a pattern and a trend and said, maybe this creativity thing, communication, marketing, maybe this is something that Rajiv might be good at, and this is something that he might excel at. And that's what started my foray into the world of advertising. And, I worked with some very large agencies. One of my claims to fame is helping Unilever get into the Guinness Book of Records for their most successful product launch till date, which was Lipton Green Tea. We made the world's largest online jigsaw puzzle that engaged 300,000 people every single day for 6 months. And the net result of that campaign was that it sold a niche novelty product out nationally in retail and wholesale twice, back to back. And this had never happened to Lipton or Unilever anywhere in any market, much less the most complicated and largest market of them all, India. So this, not only did they have crazy market reception, products sold out, but then they made headlines too with the Guinness Book. So it was just knocked it out of the park. And that was one of many noteworthy achievements of mine. Uh, there were other won several awards, won an award for Axe as well. We won a silver Webby for a lot of gamification. So the Lipton was a gamification innovation. Axe was a gamification innovation. Continued this innovation with my next stint, which was at Citibank, where I helped the bank with customer acquisition by leveraging various innovations in e-commerce as well as non-traditional or also known as sunrise channels. And this then continues even in my own agency, Rsquare Media, that I set up soon after City. So it's been 10 plus years that I've been doing this at Rsquare Media, and some of my claims to fame at Rsquare is reputation management, helping clients elevate themselves the right way so that success chases them for a change. One of those are to achieve omnipresence, to be seen everywhere, such that when they walk into a room, people already know who they are. And there's whispers, and that happens usually when the person is already a known entity and is established. People already know who they are. Their reputation precedes them, and that's usually a great vantage point because you've already won half the battle, if not the entire battle, and people are bracing themselves to get into what is likely to be a very exciting, enriching time because they're going to learn something valuable from the speaker. And I've been doing a lot of that work in reputation management, personal branding at R Square Media. And but to answer, this was as far as a little introduction background. But as we all know, it's about keeping pace with technology, with trends, with really understanding how the world is turning, and keeping pace with the evolving taste habits, preferences, and patterns of people. Because that's the only way for brands or anyone to engage with anyone. Because if someone is using a phone and you're sending smoke signals, it's not going to work. You got to get on the phone and have that conversation. That's the only way it's going to work. Similarly, with the advent of technology and the internet, people adopted email, then direct messaging on social media. Now it's all about AI. AI has taken the world by storm. I'll be getting into some really interesting data points, when we get into this. But yes, AI has taken over the world in a variety of ways. In fact, some really exciting, juicy nuggets is that AI is going to overtake Google as soon as next year. Not 10 years from now, 5 years from now. No, next year. Okay. Next year, it's going to overtake Google. Some estimates predict that it could be as early as April of next year. Some estimates say maybe it's September, October, but next year it's happening. It's already going to eclipse Google. Now, this doesn't mean that Google is history and Google bye bye. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that the tide has already changed and people are using AI like crazy. Just to give you some numbers, ChatGPT, which was the first most famous AI search tool that many people used, the people started using it like they took to it like ducks to water. You know, everyone was on it. In fact, the data tells us that ChatGPT has 200 million users every single day, 800 million users every week. Some estimates estimate that ChatGPT has an 80% market share. Other estimates, and depending on which AI search tool you use, it's going to give you a different number. But most of them agree that the market share of ChatGPT is between 60 to 80%. And then what follows that are other AIs, which are Microsoft Copilot and Google Gemini, which both are either some estimates say 12%, some estimates say 14, 15%. So essentially, it's an oligopoly of sorts where you have ChatGPT leading the pack at, let's say, 60%, and then 15, 15 is Microsoft Copilot and Google Gemini. So that 60 and 15, 15, 30, 90, and then the balance 10% are the other AIs, by some estimates, DeepSeek has 6%, and Claude and Perplexity Perplexity, I think, is like 3%. Claude is maybe 1%. So and the thing is, I actually did this search yesterday for fun just to see, and I did the same search on different AIs, and what I noticed is that when I was when I was asking Perplexity on, hey, give me the top five AI tools, sure enough, it listed the top three, which was the same, but it included itself in the search result in the bottom of that list. And then I did the same thing with Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, same thing. So it listed itself as the number three uh, most used service, and the rest was the rest. And I did this with Google Gemini as well. So it's interesting that there's a little bit of bias when you're asking the AI to a degree about itself, so that might trigger a little bias in the search result, but it still does portray, for the most part, some commonly agreed upon data, like who the market leader is and other key players in the space. So that's just a little overview as to what's going on and why everyone really needs to pay attention to AI. And the thing is that unlike the earlier wave of technology that everyone was raving about, which is Web3. Now, I'm not here to say that Web3 is dead. No, Web3 is still here. Blockchain is still here. Blockchain is a very versatile technology that is being used in a variety of really interesting ways. Smart contracts has been adopted to a degree and is being used as well. NFTs, while NFTs popularity may have peaked and maybe you know waning a little bit, but it still exists as a technology, as a viable technology. Now, it's possible that everyone isn't talking about NFTs the same way that they were back in 2021 or 22. Sure, that mania has subsided to a degree, but now everyone is talking about AI and AI tools, beginning, of course, with ChatGPT and all the other amazing tools that AI offers, like image creation, video production,
Well, and
voice.
I think as part of this shift, you're also finding that the its purpose is different, right? NFTs had a completely different purpose than the chats and being found on chat, right? And we're seeing that shift over time. Like you said, are we using smoke signals anymore, right? But with the idea, right, when we think about it, right, way old school. If you remember what a real phone book was, right? How we used to find things on an actual
Yeah,
phone
yellow
book, right?
pages.
Yeah, you ask nowadays, kids are like yellow pages, but phone book, that's in my phone, right? I mean, right. So how we search and how we look for things has evolved. And so AI, of course, with it being all the rage right now, it makes sense that how we search is going to be impacted by AI. Right? It just makes sense. There's so many opportunities. And I know this is something where people are like, if you've ever used a search engine, right, and you've typed in something and it brings you up examples and it might name specific people, right? It happens, right? When I was trying to create a custom GPT kind of thing, and it gave me a name of somebody, and I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. I looked it up. It's a real person, right? So it's in there, right? How do we get involved in this? This is curious, right? I want to be part of this world, right? This whole new technology thing. So, Rajiv, I'm really excited that you're bringing all this experience to the table, because I think a lot of people are curious about, how do we do this? How does this work?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is pretty much the topic for today's conversation, just to create awareness on the sheer significance of this phenomenon that we lovingly call AI. I mean, one working title of this little presentation was ChatGPT is your BFF. I mean, it is. I mean, AI is your BFF actually, because it does so much for you and it doesn't give you any attitude. It doesn't complain. It does everything that you ask of it quickly with a high degree of accuracy, little to no error. Sure, you have things like the hallucination, this, that, and the other thing, but that was not the AI's fault. That is because of the whole bunch of junk queries that were submitted into the AI in the early years when everyone was just messing around with it. that obviously polluted the data points and muddled it a bit. And I think that to a degree is what could be causing the hallucination. Of course, I'm not here. I'm not some, AI apologist or anything, nor am I trying to defend AI. AI, of course, is advancing extremely fast. In fact, there's the new 5.0 that has come out, and I'm sure it's just going to continue to evolve. And there are so many different models that the AI is using that is intended to make our life a whole lot easier. It's trying to be help us get to the best version of ourselves, and that's the beauty of it. There's this thing that I read a while ago, and this is what many people are using AI for. Earlier there was this thing about, hey, I need a life coach, I need a business coach. Now they're using AI as that surrogate. They're actually creating, like you were just saying, Christine, you created a custom GPT to help you with certain tasks. Because I know you have, for those that don't know, Christine has a Jedi level skills and mastery of AI. Just so you know, I mean, I know that in my in my name it says AI expert, but believe me, Christine is the AI expert. Okay,
It's great fun. We've got, I love diving into this new technology, much like you. It's like, oh, what are we doing with this new stuff? Wow. Right. And I know we've got a special meeting that we do with AI Innovation Allies on Thursdays. And so we bring in different guest speakers that are teaching about AI. I mean, this is a place, right? This is learning, this is growing, and I love this. You may not know it, but I'm actually involved with the training side of AI models. I've got a project that I'm working on that, which is really fun because it really starts to make you understand the priorities and how the AI thinks and how they want it to work. And it's involved in the training of the AI. So there's a whole fascinating behind the scenes world too. So the AI is just, it's fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole point of the whole premise of today's presentation, want AI to recommend you, and you might be wondering, well, why? Well, why do I care? Why should I care? Well, the if you were paying attention to what I said in the beginning of this broadcast, well, let me summarize it for you. Let me headline it for you. Everyone is using AI. In fact, the number of people that is using AI is going to overtake the number of people using Google as early next year. So that's already begun. It's been going on for a few years now, and it's the tipping point is going to be next year when ChatGPT usage is going to overtake Google usage. Okay, that's just going to happen. Now the question becomes, or earlier the thinking was, I want to be on Google. I want to be number one on Google. Why? Because everyone is using Google or was using Google, and Google was the primary portal for visibility, awareness. People were basing their decisions, their quests, their purchase on what they saw on Google, because people are always looking for a good experience and they want to de-risk that. And rather than doing research their own self, they go to Google because Google's algorithm has been trained on identifying the most trusted sources online and then presenting that in a search result so that us as users can look at it and make a quick decision on what is most relevant to what we're looking for at that moment in time. So whether it's deciding on what restaurant to go to or what service to use or which event to go to, which movie to watch, regardless of what the use case is, Google is super helpful at helping you identify that. Now, with the advent of AI has taken over to the extent of AI is giving you that same search result, but it's personalized, where it's giving you a deeper dive at that search result and going deep. Now, and if everyone is using that as a primary means of discovery, as a business owner, you need to be in that search result as well. Why? Because that's just like people are asking Google, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? Just like how they do on YouTube. In the exact same way, they are asking the exact same kind of questions to AI, to ChatGPT, to Gemini, to Grok, etc. They're asking these same exact questions to the AI, and the AI is giving them answers. And people are obviously looking at that answer with great interest and then taking a decision based on what they see. Now, if you're doing research on something which is like an academic research, you're doing a paper and you're doing something great. You see the research and then you just move on with your life. But then if you're doing research on, I'm stuck, what do I do? Then the AI is giving you a solution on, okay, based on this, I think this is what you should do. And that's actually the golden opportunity, because if AI is presenting you with suggestions on best practices, or more importantly, services or people to use to help you with whatever it is that you're looking to do, that is its whole purpose. Its purpose is to simplify your life, to help you out. And obviously, as if you're a business owner, you're providing a service, your intent is to simplify the customer's life, problem solve. You want people to recommend you. That's the whole point of reviews. After all, that's the whole point of testimonials, right? I mean, the whole point is to help other customers identify what you do. The fact that you say you do what you do, it's delivered well, easy, there's a benefit, and that people can trust you. At the end of the day, that is what the review accomplishes, and or that's what the recommendation is intended. So when the AI is the one that's recommending you your service, that's a huge benefit to you. And that's why, as a business owner, you need to be thinking as to, how do I get ChatGPT to recommend me when people are looking for something that is related to my field of work. So if you're a marketing company and people are looking for, hey, how do I do this SEO thing? Or how do I do this graphic thing? How do I create good social media content? What is a good idea for a story plot? Then that's where it'll start giving suggestions on, maybe you need a storytelling coach. And these are the top 5 coaches in the space. And the reason why people trust it is because the whole approach of AI is to kind of go deep and give you a very specific input that allows you to take that next step, so that you can proceed with accomplishing your goal, completing a project, getting stuff done fast. And that's the reason why people are paying really close attention to what the AI is telling them. And
Well,
that's
and
why
you
it's
might
really
notice now when you're doing your searches that not only does it give you the answer, but it'll give you a link to where it found that answer. All right.
exactly.
So it's starting to be more accountable. It's looking more like a research paper to start with, right? So you can click on that link, get back to the original information. You're like, I want to be the one that shows up in there, right? I want my link to my stuff to show up there. Absolutely.
Exactly. And we've been doing this for clients for the last 6 months, and it's been working extremely well. We have some really interesting case studies that we'll be sharing momentarily to let people know that this is not just like a pie in the sky. This is not a what if. Wouldn't it be cool if this happened? Well, it's already happening.
Ooh,
It's
tell us more.
already happening. Yes,
Well,
exactly.
dive in, Rajiv. Tell us more. What you got for us?
Okay, so this is essentially an overview as to why you as a marketer should really pay attention to AI. And it's the biggest opportunity that exists today. And even if you don't know anything about AI, you don't know a lick about it, that's fine. Just start getting into it. Ask the AI whatever you need to know. It'll tell you. It'll tell you about itself. It'll tell you the significance about it. It'll tell you how you can use it, the various use cases. It'll tell you the things that you ought to think about, as well as the things you don't need to think about. It's the simplest thing ever. So don't be, and again, it's just a simple search, and the interface is a very minimalist interface. You don't have to look at a lot. It's just a little search bar. You're typing it in something. You can even speak into it, and that's it. You don't really have to do much. So yeah, so I highly recommend for everyone to start playing with AI and increasing your awareness of it. It's not complicated like the metaverse or Web3 or blockchain. That's super complicated. This isn't. So that's the good news. It's not complicated at all. Anyone can pick it up in seconds. Okay, so I'm just thinking. I forgot. I forgot that I actually have control of the slide. I was thinking that I had to say next. Okay,
You
my bad.
you have the power, Rajiv.
My bad. Yeah, I'll dive straight into it. Yeah. Okay. So this is about how do we get AI to recommend you? Okay, so small little introduction about myself. I think we kind of got into this briefly. This is me. Some of my claims to fame, like I mentioned earlier, was helping Unilever with the Guinness Book of Records, Webby Awards for Acts, strategic advisor with the United Nations, keynote speaker. In fact, I'm going to be speaking at the United Nations tomorrow uh, on this subject as well, AI. So you're getting a little mini preview to what tomorrow's talk is going to be. So that's a little bit about me, and a little bit about just to know as to why clients like working with us, because we're just like really easy to work with. We are very results oriented. We're fun to work with. We have clear communication. We manage expectations, and it's just like real easy. Of course, this is not intended to be a sales pitch, but hey, that's a good picture of me and Barbara Cochran. So I said, why not, right? Okay, moving along. So the premise here is, would you like ChatGPT to recommend you to 122 million users every day? Yes, that is not the number of people that is using ChatGPT every single day, and that number is rising. Okay, it is going to keep rising. When I did this research, which was a week ago, it said the number was 122. Maybe in a month, that number is going to rise to 150, or even some estimates even estimate that it could be 200 million a day. So that's so the reason why I bring this up is to just illustrate the scale of something. Because if something is happening at scale, you really have to take notice, because it's going to impact you. It is impacting you. So this is why it's a phenomenon. It's a global phenomenon. So this is why we're mentioning these numbers. Or 800 million users a week. Again, it's a really large number. Some estimates say a billion users a week. Depending on the data source, there's like a plus or minus 10% variance. But the point is, the headline, the takeaway is, almost everyone is on this thing. Everyone is using it intently. They're leaning in like this, and they're using it. And because ChatGPT and AI tools has everyone's attention, you need to be paying attention to this as well, because it's the biggest opportunity for you to be seen, to be visible, uh, to be part of this new ecosystem. So I hope I've convinced you that ChatGPT is significant and you should be taking note of it. Hopefully these numbers play some small part in convincing you. This is the data I was alluding to earlier, that ChatGPT, Gemini, the AI search tools are in the process of overtaking Google. It's already begun. It's happening next year. And by some estimates, like I said, it's going to be either early next year or late next year, but it's next year. Okay. So you need to be thinking very quickly about, okay, everyone is using ChatGPT. How can I make the most out of this phenomenon? This is an opportunity. So how do I what do I need to do from a readiness standpoint to be able to benefit the most from this? That's the whole point of this broadcast, is to convey a benefit, give you a little nugget so that you have something to think about, take action, and be super successful in the days and weeks to come. Now, the whole point, like I said, this is an interesting case study on how we helped a client get recommended by ChatGPT. So it's almost like you had the Google algorithm and you had SEO, which is search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is essentially optimizing a search result to benefit a client by telling the Google algorithm, hey, this content is valuable. This is the reason why you need to display this at the top of your search result in a variety of ways. And Google has its best practices that if you adopt, your result will feature prominently. Similarly, AI has a similar algorithm. And if you have content that is aligning with that, there is a likelihood that AI will recommend you. Now, of course, that's something that we're doing. We understand how that algorithm works, the AI algorithm, and how to be featured successfully. And the whole point of this case study is this is literally a show and tell, because people might say, oh, wow, that's a bold claim. You can get me listed on ChatGPT. Wow. I mean, it sounds like, okay, that's like a tall tale. Well, not really. This visualization, this picture shows you that this is something that we've actually achieved. In fact, if you look at this picture, you will see the backstory to this is that this is a client that had a brand new business. His business was maybe, I don't know, less than 6 months old. This was a business valuation type business. Now, of course, the person behind this business was doing this for like 30 plus years. So it's not like he was a recent college graduate or something, seasoned, experienced professional, but his company was a new company. That's my point. It was a new company, less than a year old. A few months it had launched and gone live, and this was business valuation, which of course, as I'm sure you know, is a highly competitive, highly crowded field where you have large private equity companies, banks, uh, accelerators, government entities, non-government entities, all actively participating in this space. And if done the right way, the goal is to be seen in this sea of high competition. And that's actually what we achieved. We achieved by having the client be seen in a very prominent way. So if you notice the picture on the left, the picture on the left shows that the client was listed in the Google Gemini preview, which is right on the top of any Google search. So one benefit is that you get your dominance of Google. So that's part one. Part two is the part that is highlighted in green shows you another snippet of the client being listed prominently in the top three search results as well. So not only was he listed in the Gemini preview, but in the visual preview, he was in that too. So that's the picture on the left displays that. Picture on the right displays the same thing, but for a different keyword, because at the end of the day, we are all using search phrases in an attempt to identify the information that we're seeking, right? And much like keywords and search phrases that we use in Google, we're using the similar search phrases in the AI tools because we're looking for things and we're using words to help us identify what we're looking for. So in this case, it was a different search phrase the that was relevant to the business. And even for that search phrase, both for a short, the first one is a very short search phrase called a short tail keyword, and the one on the right is a long tail keyword. So the point is we're showing that it works for both instances, and it's a highly potent service, and it does work. This is an example that the same case study where we got the client listed in the search result in the AI. So what you saw in the last screen was what users saw on Google. This is what users are seeing in the different AI tools that they're using. In this case, it's ChatGPT. So people are asking ChatGPT a question and they're seeing the result. And in the result, the client is mentioned prominently. So that's what the picture on the left shows in ChatGPT. The picture on the right is a Grok search results. People are using Grok too. And it's the same search phrase. People are using it in Grok. And in Grok also a similar search result. So the reason why I'm sharing this means that, I mean, people are always looking for that silver bullet. And this, to a degree, could be viewed as a silver bullet because not only are you winning on Google, but you're also winning on the AI tools and not just ChatGPT, which of course is the leader. Everyone knows that it's the leader. But you're winning on ChatGPT, you're winning on Gemini, the top two, and you're winning on the others as well, in this case, Grok. And the whole point of the picture is to show you that, yes, this is what the success outcome looks like. And I'm not making this up. It's verifiable. And if you look at these pictures, same thing. The picture on the left is Perplexity. Picture on the right is Claude. These are two popular search tools, AI tools, and same keyword in Perplexity displayed the client prominently in the search result right on the top. And same thing with Claude as well. The client is displayed in the search result when used on Claude as well. So the one of the takeaways here is that winning on AI is it could be equated to winning on Google, which means that if AI likes you, Google likes you. And I would invite you to think of it as such. The reverse may be true to a degree, that is, if Google likes you, AI likes you also, because at the end of the day, AI is getting its information from the internet, and Google, of course, is organizing its search results from the internet. So there is that correlation there. But the correlation that I'd like for you to think about is that if you're winning on AI, you're winning on Google too. So it's a double benefit. That's why I really want for you to think about why it's so important for you as the business owner to take this seriously, as to you need to be the one that ChatGPT recommends when customers are querying ChatGPT, when customers are asking ChatGPT about something that you can have a service for. You need to be thinking about that, because just think about it. There's like 200 million people using ChatGPT every single day. 200 million people. That's a lot of customers. Now, I'm not saying that all of those 200 million people are looking for your service, but a percentage of them are. Now, whether that percentage is 1%, 10%, 20%, I don't know. But the point is, it is a significant percentage. And the number of queries that ChatGPT is fielding, it fields a billion queries a day. A billion. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, so as a business owner, thinking that, oh, ChatGPT is this very futuristic thing, no, it's a yesterday thing actually. It's been going on for the last 2-3 years, and it's come to a head right now where we're at that point where it's going to overtake Google. It's in the process of overtaking Google, and that's why you need to really think about uh, taking visibility on ChatGPT. In this example that we're sharing, the client is outperforming various government websites as well in the search result. And we all know that a government website is a high level trusted source, and to get better than a .gov domain is extremely hard. It's nearly impossible using traditional SEO approaches. But the fact that this deliver that outcome and deliver it fast tells you that this is a very potent approach that has a very sweeping significance and impact on broad visibility. So as a business owner, you need to be really thinking about, okay, how do I, jump on this? How do I make it easy for people to find me? Customers are now using AI. They're using AI to kind of find services. I need to be in that recommendation, because you want to make it easy for people to find you, right? I mean, that's the whole point of being in business, to help customers, and you want to make it as easy for the customer to find you. And that's the whole point of advertising, right? You advertise on the Super Bowl. Why? Not because it's a cool thing to do. You advertise because about 300 million people or 150 million people watch the Super Bowl program. I mean, by some estimates, it's 150 or 180 million. I don't know the exact number, but it's a very high number. It's almost more than half the population in the US is watching the Super Bowl. And at that moment in time, everyone is watching it. You have their attention. So that's the reason why brands are advertising uh, in the Super Bowl, for that very reason, because you have that everyone's attention in that moment in time. And it's a great way to get the message out. Similarly, when you're in an AI recommendation, it's like that Super Bowl level of awareness where now everyone is finding out about you like this real fast. And of course, it's a trusted source.
Yeah, great credibility, right? Oh, I showed up on the AI search. So, oh, well, if it's good enough for AI, it must be good enough for me too, right?
Exactly. That's exactly it. And here, this is another example of the client, the person behind the business being featured in the search result as well, both in the Gemini preview. And this was for that, the search phrase that is sometimes associated with a vanity search result, but it's also a very highly used search result, which is best of, right? In this case, it's best fractional CTO. So this, again, it's a short tail keyword. Short tail means it's a search phrase that does not have too many words. It's a short word. Like you're asking a friend, hey, what's the best, food? What's the best drink? What's the best car? It's like that. It's a word that does not require a lot of technical knowledge. It's just a normal human thing to do. So even for something like that, we help the client achieve that on Google, number one on Google, and of course, number one on AI. So that's one of the key takeaways here. And then, of course, here it's about being, and even for that new keyword of best CTO, for that keyword also, we got the client listed prominently in across the various AI tools, including ChatGPT and Perplexity, Gemini, which you just saw. It's the same thing. Grok, Claude, same thing, same search result. I mean, the impact is that the client is being featured prominently in the search result on the various AI tools. And this is why you need to be thinking about being featured in the search result. Because guess what? Someone is being featured. So why not you? Why not you?
Absolutely. Sign me up.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, this is like a small mini case study. We helped a law firm out in the same way. Just in the first month, the law firm got 4 new clients in the first month, which netted them $100,000 in revenue just in 1 month. Now, they got additional clients in the following months as well. I didn't reach out to them to find out because, again, law firms, first of all, it's very hard to get someone on the phone, especially if you're not a paying client. And they're, focused on, conversion and all that sort of thing. But this is what they told. They told us that they were so happy, jumping with joy. This had never happened to them before. This level of speed of conversion by using AI.
Right. Adding that extra level of credibility, right? Faster
Yeah,
conversion.
because these are all highly competitive, highly crowded areas. Legal, law firm, financial services. All of these are highly competitive, highly crowded spaces where very few have risen to the top over a long period of time. Now the question becomes, are you going to let those big boys rule the roost, or are you going to do something about it? Well, you can do something about it. You can contact us. But the point is, well, you need to be getting, you need to be thinking about it like this. Having ChatGPT recommend you is the answer. That is literally the answer. And yeah, so that brings us towards the end. I think I'm just looking at the time. We're close to the top of the hour. Time just blew fast, real fast in this really fun conversation. I hope the takeaway from this expose was that you really need to be thinking about AI. AI is here to stay. Everyone is on it. Everyone is using it every single day, every single hour. It varies, obviously, whether people are using it every single minute. But the point is, roughly 200 million people are using it every single day. 800 million people to a billion people are using it every single week. That's a lot of people. Okay.
Right. So if you're looking for a way to increase your visibility, right, it just makes sense to keep up with. This is one of those trends that aren't going away, right? AI is here. It's not going away. So you might as well embrace it, right? And the idea is, when we look at our business, right, we don't want to do those smoke signals anymore, right? We got to evolve with the times, right? It used to be print media was the big thing, right? You drive, you see the print on the walls, right? You see the signs, you see, right? And as we shift, right? How many people actually read the newspaper anymore? Right? Not like it used to be, right? So as things shift, you got to find out where the people are, right? So if you want to increase your visibility, you need to go where everybody's at. And right now, it's AI, right? So this is just one more tool in your arsenal for ways to become more visible. We're not saying give up what you're already doing. We're just saying you might want to consider another way to get in front of your ideal client, right? Increase your visibility. AI is one of those ways to do that. So getting found on chat, right? If you were thinking about, gosh, what do I want to do next for my visibility? this might be the answer, right? This might be that cutting edge solution that you're looking for, right? I'm not always the best trend follower. I kind of like to sit back for a second and see, is this, look like something that's viable or not? And let's face it, AI is not going anywhere. So, yep, this is it. It's here. It's solid. You might as well use it to, help with your business, help with your visibility, help bring you your ideal client, right? So think about that. Is your ideal client using AI right now? If the answer is yes, right, you might want to think about, well, what do I need to do in order to get in front of them? So if this is something that interests you, obviously he and his team have been working on this. This is a great time to have a conversation. Is that a free consultation we can get with you, Rajiv?
It is. So, and the thing is that I don't know if I mentioned this in my little expose here. Well, we delivered the result in both the case studies. The results were delivered in 60 to 90 days, so extremely fast, in 2 months. 2 months.
Yeah.
Getting to the top of AI in 2 months. That's really fast.
Right. And then when you talk to people about SEO and getting to the top of Google, usually that's pretty quick. You don't normally hear about getting to the top of a Google search that quickly. They'll tell you, it's going to take a while, 6 months, a year. Well, it's crazy to expect any kind of results in 90 days. That's pretty nice. So yeah, if you want to holler out to Rajiv, his number's 646-249-3561. Send him a message. WhatsApp's a great way to get a hold of him. And that's how I usually message him. And so reach out, have a conversation, just explore the possibilities. It's a no-cost consultation. So you might as well find out what the possibilities are for you and getting more visibility through AI. That's a program it's a space that I love to play in. So I look forward to having more conversations with you about cutting edge AI and what's going on with it. This is one of those topics that are just fun, right? It's like you said, it's so friendly and easy to use. A lot of times the latest technology trends are things that not everybody's doing. They don't always use it. Like not everybody's doing NFTs, not everybody's using blockchain, but everybody's using AI, right? And it may not be everybody. We might be exaggerating a little bit, but more and more people are adopting it, right? I would be surprised in the next year or two, year and a half. I expect companies to all have AI policies. I expect them to have particular AI brands and programs that they prefer to use for their company. I mean, AI is the future. It's what's happening. So you really don't want to get left behind on this one. So if this is something you're interested in, be sure to reach out, talk to Rajiv a little bit about getting found on AI and ChatGPTs and all the others. Have a conversation with them. You just never know. I promise he's really friendly. You'll have a great time talking together. Well, Rajiv, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your level of expertise, what's going on cutting edge in technology in the marketing space and how you're helping with that. It's ever evolving, right? So at the time of this broadcast, this is where we're at, right? Talk to us in 6 months. You just never know how things are going to change, right? Thank you for coming on. And then, before I forget, tomorrow is Wednesday. Y'all know what Wednesday is? Wednesday is networking for marketers. So if you are a marketer, if you're playing in this AI space, if you are in the media side, PR space, any of that, don't be a lonelypreneur. Come hang out with us, get to know other marketers. We love working together at Giver Marketing. So go ahead and go to givermarketing.com/networking. And on Wednesdays, we're there at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. I'm in Texas, so 10 a.m. But that's us every Wednesday. You'll find me in there, and we always have a good time together exploring different possibilities, what's going on, the latest, greatest. We do some troubleshooting in there. We figure out ways to team up on projects, right? White labeling. There's so much fun to be had. So if you can, pop in if you're in that marketing space and come hang out with us. We have fun every Wednesday. And we will see you for another Tuesday marketing broadcast next week. See you then. Thanks, Rajiv.
My pleasure, Christine.